Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CSI Finance Training for the graduate organ schools for the 2022-2023 school year. I want to thank you, first of all, for taking the time to take in this training. It is a very important training for you to be successful on the events that you are planning to have through this year. So thank you for being here. What we're going to do, we're going to take a tour through the finance work in Engage, and also we're going to see how these work together with the finance department in CSI. Okay, so we're going to start with the presentation. Again, it's the finance work in Engage, and this is applicable for the 2022 to 2023 for the graduate schools. So just want to introduce the team. The team right now is just me, Luz Patterson, but we're going to have somebody else very soon. I am the Assistant Director, Finance and Operation, and my email is here if you would like to reach me with any questions or anything we can help you with. The Finance and Operation Coordinator, we're hoping to have someone very soon that will join our team. So this person will be also available for you. Some of the things that we're gonna see today is how CSI Finance supports your organization. What can I spend my organization's funds on? A lot of people have that question. We're gonna take a little overview of the finance page. Very important, the purchase request, the submission timeline, contracts, co-sponsorship deposits, fundraising process, and subscriptions and renewals. Okay. So that's kind of like a few of the things that, the main things that you wanted to make sure you're aware for this year. So how CSI Finance supports your organization. So what do we do here? What we do is we managing your organization's account. That's what we do in here. We review and approve your purchase requests. And we also process all your payments. So individually, or students should not make any payments expecting to be reimbursed. Okay, we are the ones that make the payments for any of your events that you have. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So you take care of your account. So make sure that your account looks good and up to date. How can student activity fees be used? Okay, there are some acceptable uses. This is some of them. Cultural, social, and educational enrichment programs, recreational and social activities under policy guidelines, student media and publications. These publications have to be only that belong to the organization, not departments, okay? Student organization travel within prescribed limits, no airfare travel, and other student services. What you cannot use these funds are, for example, alcohol and tobacco purchases, personal gain, donations, individual membership fees, fundraisings, unless the 100% of receipts are donated, gift cards, monetary prizes, and international travel. So these things are definite. And if you have any ideas of anything else that you would like to know if it's possible or if it's not, and it was not mentioned in here, please reach out to your advisor, your CSI advisor, or you can reach out to me as well. So let's just go into Engage, okay? The Engage platform. So managing your organization finances. So the first thing for you to get into, most of you already know how, but we're just gonna be a quick review. You're gonna log in into the website is american.campuslabs.com/engage. There's no specific password for that, just your AU credentials, okay? So you don't have to create anything new. Just use the regular credentials you use for everything that you do with American University. And this will land you directly to the home page, okay? And in here, it will look different for everybody, depending on which organizations do you belong to or you are a member of. So they will show up in here, or you can just look for them in here as well, depending on how many do you belong to. And also in here, you can see all the events that are taking place around campus that are in Engage, okay? Maybe there are other activities that are happening, but if they are not being, not in Engage, you will not see it, but most things that are taking place within the Center for Student Involvement, your activities, your events, they will be in here, okay? So let's say you wanted to go into your organization so you can get familiar with the finance, or you have something to do with the finance page. So you're gonna click in the organization that you're gonna be working on. Let's say we're gonna click in the Center for Student Involvement. So you click in here, and this is going to land you in your main page. This is just a basic information of the organization page. But you wanted to click in here in Manage Organization. Once you click in there, it will just show you who is the primary contact, okay, how many members are in there. But you wanna go up here in this hamburger menu, click on it, and once you click on it, it will display to you this little menu, and you're gonna click in this Manage Home icon, okay? And when you click in there, it will show you the options or the organization tools. Some people may have more tools than others. This depends on the level of that you have within the organization. So you may be able to see even the roster, you may not. Documents, you may not. I'm assuming everybody that is here has access to the finance. So this is the one that we wanted to focus on. So you're gonna click in finance, and it will land you directly to the finance page. What do you see in here? Well, in here you can see all the purchase requests that you have submitted or that your organization has submitted since we have engaged platform, and also the funding request, okay? Don't worry about the budget. You do not do the budget request. This is for another school. In here, so you can do that, and it will change you right away, depending on what you wanted to see. In here also you can see if you selected the purchase, so you can also see per purchase request the status that they have. If they are being canceled, denied, approved, it will show in here. And also, if you haven't heard from us, perhaps you're wondering what happened, well, you can also look at in the stage. The stage of your request will tell you if this is still a new request, meaning we haven't taken a look at it just yet, most likely. Or perhaps it will say here finance. So if it says the finance person, it will means that I am taking care of that, or someone else in our department. But if maybe I have a question regarding this request that you submitted, so I have to send it back to your advisor, it will show up here, advisor. So why is this good for you? So in case you are wondering what's happening and you're not sure, so you can just direct the email about what is taking place depending on the stage, okay? Also in here, you can search for purchase requests or fundings by writing in here the name of what you're looking for, or the number of the purchase request, and things like that. Very important is these two tabs. One is the accounts and the create request. This is the one, accounts is when you wanted to check the different accounts that you have for your organization. And here is where where you are going to create a purchase and funding request. We're gonna focus right now in accounts, okay? So let's say you wanted to see one of your accounts. So you're gonna click on it, and it will take you directly to the account or accounts that your organization have with CSI, okay? Has with the CSI. Some of you have one, or if you have any revenue, we have two, okay? So depending on what you wanted to work with, if you wanna work with the funding, not funding, but the student allocation fee account, it will show up in here, or if you have a revenue, that's the one you wanted to work with, you will select that one. Just very quick, most of the time, the reason you wanted to look into this is to see how much money do you have available to spend. So focus on this, don't focus on the balance, okay? Focus on the available money. The reason why I ask you to do that is because the balance does not reflect the actual money that you have available to spend. Balance only change once the transaction or the payments or the money have come out of your account, or it actually has been deposited into your account. So when everything is closed, finalized, that's when your balance changes. So it will take a little while to do that. However, once you send a purchase request and it's approved, it will immediately change the available. Okay, so meaning, okay, you don't count with that money anymore. So that's why you want to make sure that you look at the available to see if you have enough money for your events that you're planning. Okay, So if you want to see a little more detail, you're just going to click into the actual account and it will land you into this screen, which is kind of like a account bank statement, where it will show you again the balance and the available funds, similar thing. But if you want to see all the requests that have been taking place since we have engaged the Engage platform, but you can take a look at it here, you can research, perhaps you need information from the past, you can look at it here. And the transactions is when we in the finance department have already, again, pay your vendors or deposit your checks if you have any, or your money orders, whatever you give us. So that's when the transaction will show you each transaction that has been already taking place and closed into your accounts, okay? So this is just a nice summary of your accounts in case you wanted to know a little bit more of it, okay? Very good. So that's how you navigate the finance screen or finance page, okay? Very good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to focus in the purchase request. What is a purchase request? Well, a purchase request is a record of money that is being spent from your organization's account for a specific amount. Who submits a purchase request? Only the GLC operation accounts and their class, okay? And the GSCs. Why is this important? Because the GSCs have a lot of organizations under them. They do not submit purchase requests. They do not have an account with us. The ones that have the account is the GSC. So the GSC submit in their behalf if they need to any purchase request, okay? The GLC, of course, they know they submit it, and they have some clubs. There are not many, but they have some clubs that they do have the account with us. If those clubs don't have any account, please reach out to me, and we kind of take care of, review and see what is happening and take care of that, okay? Now, before you submit a purchase request, what do you have to keep in mind? Well, have you met with your advisor? Have you confirmed the availability of funds in your account, which is what we just talked about it, okay? And have you gathered all the required documents? So if you answer yes to these three questions, you're good to go. You can submit the purchase request to us. Something that we wanted to make sure you keep in mind, as you can see it is highlighted here in red, is submit only one request per vendor. It's gonna clarify that. So if you have an event, okay, that needs different things, like for example, you have a speaker, you also, for that event, you also have someone that you're hiring to set up the platform, okay, or the sound. And you also have to buy some supplies for that with Amazon, for example. So those are three different vendors that we need to pay for that one event. So you do not submit one purchase request with all of those three in that purchase request, okay? No, you submit a purchase request for each of them, one for the speaker, one for the sound or platform, whatever, and one for Amazon, okay? So there are three for that one event. Another case is if you are buying something from Amazon, for example, and you have 10 items that you are getting from them, you do not submit a purchase request per item. No, you submit a purchase request for Amazon and include those 10 items in there. Hope that's clear, because if that happens a lot, and then we have to cancel those purchase requests, and then you have to do it again, and it takes longer, and we don't want that. We want to make sure that, you know, everything is smooth and keep moving fast so you can have your event in time. So keep that in mind. It may sound like, we will not do that while it happens. So please keep it in mind, okay? So now what we're going to do is very quick, is to review or to let you know what is the timeline that we have so you can have your event at the day that in the day that you want it, okay? So we have a 5-week submission timeline. And the step one in that 5-week timeline is the initial submission and organization consultant meeting. So what do? You submit the event in Engage, okay? And you are going to meet with your advisor to talk through your request. Step 2 is the approval and denial and purchasing process. So if it is approved, your advisor say, yes, this looks good and it's approved, then you will go ahead and submit the purchase request. In that purchase request, please attach the vendor contact information. If you have a contract, a draft contract, if you have an invoice, and if this invoice, especially if this invoice has terms and conditions, it's important that it's in there, or if it's a shopping cart, or if it's a co-sponsorship, anything depending on the event, please attach the documents that are pertinent for that event, okay? If the purchase request is approved by us, because we also have our own approval, okay, by the finance department, you will get an email of approval from us. This email will include the link to include the link to schedule a purchasing meeting through Zoom. And also, if something was missing in there, we do not cancel purchase requests just like that. We try to reach out to you to get all the information that we can, so we don't have to start from zero again. So I will be asking you to please send me or clarify something if it was not clear in the purchase request, okay? Then you're gonna schedule a Zoom meeting for the purchasing. And if the event requires a contract, you will by now be working with your CSI advisors. You will continue doing that. And also you're gonna start working with the finance department, because we will also need some additional paperwork for that if it's contract related, okay? So you're just gonna be continue working with that contract with us. Step 3 is the event logistics and purchasing process. So the student event planning team will work with CSI advisor to plan the logistics. The finance department will contact the vendor to collect the finance paperwork, including the PSA. And also you're gonna meet with the CSI finance team for purchasing if there's purchase for that request. Step 4 and 5, CSI complex event confirmations. You're gonna meet with your CSI advisor for a complex event confirmation if it's needed. You're gonna confirm the purchase delivery date and time with us. And we're gonna finalize any paperwork that is needed. Like finalize the details with the payments and stuff like that with your vendor. So we're hoping that by now everything is done and taken care, so you are able to have your event without any hiccup. You don't have to postpone it, or you don't have to cancel it if we have followed all of those steps, okay? After the event, we're gonna ask you to please submit the CSI event attendance form 3 days max post-event. Why this is important? Well, I really don't know if your event took place. If the speaker didn't show up, it has to be canceled or anything. I don't know that. So I cannot assume that it did just because it was on that day and go ahead and pay it. I need to get a confirmation from you that yes, the event took place. One of the ways to get that is if you submit the CSI event attendance form. That tells us the event took place, okay? So please go ahead and do that so your vendors will be paid. And at the same time, you will not be getting any emails from your vendors saying why we haven't been paid. And then you're gonna have to reach out to me, why didn't pay? Well, because I never knew that the event took place, okay? So it's very important that you do not forget that step. Very good, what we're going to do right now is to show you a little bit of how the purchase request is filled up. It's very easy, it's nothing complicated, but just wanted to show it to you so it will be a little familiar to you once you go to submit one, okay? So we have in here, this is the page for the Center for Student Involvement, okay? Kind of like what I was showing you earlier, where you see the purchase, the fundings, and where you see the accounts. And what we wanted to see right now is create a request, okay? So this create a request is where you are going to have to click into create purchase request at this moment, okay? So you're gonna click on it and it's going to land you in their main page. And I already fill up one. Let's see if I think it's this one. Okay, so to make it easier. So let's say that you are having an event that needs some sound and some stage work. So we are hiring GAM Entertainment Group. And what is it for? that you hire in this group. Oh, it's for the Culture Fest event, okay? So it is very important that you, in the subject, you write the name of the vendor and the name of the event, if there is an event, okay? Then you're going to go to the description. What is exactly that this vendor is going to do for you, and what is the purpose of the event? Who is benefiting from it? Just, you know, remember, everything that you do is supposed to benefit the students in general of American University, so you want to specify that, okay? So this is just a little description: sound, performer, stage from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., something like that, okay? The amount, the category, there's a lot of categories in here. I just put operation expenses, but it could be that you are as a speaker, supplies, dues, decorations, cost, co-sponsorship, if there is any, contract, professional service. There's plenty that you can choose on. This is good for you, so you, when you are reviewing what your money was spent on, you can also check in here. Or, okay, we spent 2,000 in a speaker, we spent 3,000 in, I don't know, performers, or hopefully not in food. But you know, different things that you can check in here. And which account is this coming from? This is important, is because, like I mentioned earlier, some of you have 1 or 2 accounts, so want to make sure that you select the correct account. If you have more than 1, make sure if this is from the activity fee money, please select that one. If this is revenue, please select that one, because that's the one I am going to use or get the money from, okay? And in here, pay information, no need to fill everything, just the first name. That's all what I need, okay? And in here, well, if this is an allocation money, well, that's what you're gonna write, select. If it's revenue, select that one. How is this person going to be paid? Is it by check, or we're gonna use credit card? And this is a very key point. If this is a co-sponsored event, so write down yes, if it is, and who is co-sponsoring this event with, okay? So I'm just writing here KPU, but let's say you're going, I don't know, so is helping you with that one, and SPA is also helping with money for that. So just write down which organization is, or if it's another department, and how much are they going to co-sponsor you with, okay? The date of the event, and this is just simple questions. The link, the link if it's a Zoom event, the web address, the email address. This one is very important. Purchase links, okay? If this is purchase that you're having from, I'm just gonna give example Amazon, because we use Amazon a lot. I need all the links for the items that you're going to have to purchase, okay? I don't need you to show me a link, just one link showing me all the items, because I will not know which items are you selecting from. And just for example, I get sometimes links that it takes me to drinks, a variety of drinks, but I don't know which drinks you need to. It can be a Coca-Cola, it can be a Pepsi, I don't know, different one. So the link has to be to the direct item that you need, okay? And I will also need the quantities as well. So please make sure you can share your, if you have your own account and you wanna share your wish list with me, you can do that as well in there, okay? So please be specific. If not, it will delay your purchase. As well as you wanna upload in here, depending on what it is, you wanna upload the contract or the invoice or the shopping cart, anything that it needs to be uploaded in here. There's a lot of spaces here for you to upload documents, if or whatever is what you need to upload for that purchase request, okay? And then same thing with travel. If it's to travel, if it's something that needs to be uploaded in there, there is the space for that. And then you just submit the request and it will come to me, and then we start with the process that we just went over, okay? So that's kind of it when it comes to that. Let's go back to the presentation. So just want to clarify a little bit, a little things that come out when you are planning an event, okay? One of those is co-sponsorships, as we just mentioned a little bit in the purchase request. So co-sponsorship has two you can be one or the other, okay? You could be the event organizer, or you could be the one that is sponsoring an event, okay? So if you are the event organizer, what are your responsibilities when it comes to the purchase request? The organization responsible for the event will submit a purchase request, and keep this in mind, for the total amount of the event, okay? And it will follow the steps that we just talked about earlier. An email should be sent to the finance department with the co-sponsorship information, and it should include the name of the event and an attachment with the agreement with the co-sponsor indicating the amount that you agree with the co-sponsor, okay? If the co-sponsorship is with another department, that happens a lot, the email should include the name and contact information of the person that you are being communicating with on that department. Departments are big, and I do not know who you've been talking to, so I can get you the money that they promised you. So I need to know, okay? So please include that information in the email. If you can include all of this in the purchase request, it's fine, but if it's not, please send me an additional email with that, okay? Now, if you are sponsoring an event, this can be with another organization or another university department, what are your responsibilities? Well, the organization that will co-sponsor the event will submit a request for the amount that they agreed upon it, okay? So if the event is for 10,000, but you said to them you are going to help with 1,000, well, you will submit a purchase request only for those $1,000, okay? And you're gonna clarify in there, as we saw in the purchase request, what it is this for. This is for sponsorship with such and such event, and all the information that we need. That in the description, you can put as much as you want to write in there to be clear of what is exactly that for sponsorship for, okay? You will include the name of the event, as I mentioned. I'm sorry, just realized it was there. And you will also attach, again, the email that you have agreeing for that co-sponsorship. Now, if you are not helping with funds, but you decided that what you're going to do is help with some purchase for that event. For example, you say, well, I'm gonna help you with the catering. So you are not giving them $1,000, you're going to pay a vendor directly for that catering, or if you're buying supplies. So you don't have to go through the co-sponsorship process. This is just going to be handled as a regular purchase request, okay? So there's no need for an email agreement. Just submit the purchase request, again, with the name of the vendor and the event that you are co-sponsoring, and just attach everything as a regular purchase request, okay? So this is maybe a lot of information. Feel free to contact me again if you have any questions, but that's kind of like the two phases of a co-sponsorship, okay? Now, something that is very important is when you are having an event that require contracted services. This can be for services, speakers, and resources that require contract invoices with terms and conditions, or a PSA, which is a service agreement. Regardless of the amount, please keep the following in mind, okay? Contracts must be reviewed by the advisor before submitting a purchase request, okay? That's kind of already been said before, but please keep it in mind, because it happens that purchase requests are submitted with contracts and the advisor has no idea, and perhaps this contract has some language in there that is not in agreement with our terms, okay, with American university terms. So it's very important that you bring this contract, or again, invoice, whatever it is what you have, to the advisor so they can take a look at it and start seeing if it's possible or it needs some changes, okay? Contracts must be also reviewed and signed by our procurement department, and that takes about 4 weeks. So that's why we take this 5-week timeline that we just looked. It's important to follow, because if you have a contract for an event that is going to be taking place in September, for example, September 6th, I'm just picking up a date, well, it's not going to happen. Why? Because just for the procurement department to take a look at that contract and approve it, it takes 4 weeks. And the reason is because they are not only in charge with our department, they take a look at the whole American University contract. So they have a lot of work in there. So we are just gonna join the queue and wait for them to get to us. So if you wanna make sure that your event take place, please keep in mind that we need to send to them this contract at least 4 weeks before your event. So that's why the 5 weeks are important, okay? Vendors must accept our AU, American University Net Tory policy, okay? So what is that? That the vendor will only be paid after the event and after they finalize the paperwork with us. So that's why, again, the timeline is important. Because if they had submitted all the paperwork to me, as soon as the event is done, I can submit their paperwork for payment, and they will be paid right as quick as possible. But if they haven't, they will have to, submit the paperwork, and it will be longer. So the net Tory is very important that a vendor understand. Okay, we do not do prepayments. We do not do deposits. And we can pay them with checks or credit card, that's fine, depending on the amount. So all of those things are going to be talked about once you meet with your CSI advisor to go over all of those details, okay? We also have a preferred vendor list. What is exactly a preferred vendor? Well, preferred vendors are just vendors that have already worked with us in the past, so they are familiar with our policies and they accept our terms. So if you are trying to do something, check and see if they have what are the preferred vendors for that specific speaker or service that you are trying to get. Okay. Very good. That's contracted service, very important. Now, deposits. What are the deposits? Deposit is money that you are getting either for a fundraise or somebody is giving you a donation or paying you dues. So you need to deposit that money into your revenue account. Okay, so how that works? Well, so you will submit a funding request. Okay, you make a copy of the check and attach it to the request. Then you're gonna drop that check at the CSI office. And once the check is being deposited and is confirmed that the money has, that the check is being cleared, then your transaction will be reflecting into your account and Engage, okay? So what we're going to do, before that. So since a lot of the money comes from fundraising, I'm just gonna talk to you a little bit about the fundraising, okay? So what is fundraising? What are not the preposition, but some of the things that you need to keep in mind about fundraising. So mandatory student activity fees may not be donated to a non-university organization, okay? So you cannot use that. We mentioned that at the beginning. A recognized student organization may sponsor a fundraising program for the purpose of supporting a non-university organization, but only the net profits may be used for that contribution, okay? The organization cannot make a profit out of it, the fundraising. And so that is when you're using the student activity fee monies. However, if the organization or the club organize a fundraising without using the student activity fees, they may use the proceeds as revenue, okay? So what do you do, or how do you get that money into your account? When you will submit the funding request, as I mentioned to you already, you will, this is depending on who did you do the fundraising with. For example, if it's Chipotle, they may have certain rules when it comes to fundraising. So sometimes they say, well, we don't give you a check, we're going to do a direct deposit. So you will give them the information that we will provide for you so they can do that. And once that is being taking place, well, we will just go ahead and submit the funding request, approve your fund or process your funding request. Or if it's check, you will drop the check in our office, okay? What I wanted to make sure that you understand is that we do not accept any cash in our office, okay? So it can be only ACH or wires or checks or money orders, okay? Once the ACH has been confirmed, it will be deposited into your account. And if the proceeds will be donated, okay, so you don't want to keep that money for your organization, but you're going to donate it, you have to submit, in addition to the funding request, you have to submit a purchase request, okay? So in that, maybe it's a lot of submission, but the purchase request will put the money into your account, okay? This, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. I'm not sure if I said it right. The funding request will put the money into your account, okay? The purchase request will disburse or will authorize me to disburse the money from your account. So that's why it's important. If you do not submit the purchase request, the money will stay into your account. So for me to get it out of your account and go and give the money to any charity that you have decided to donate the money, I will need the purchase request, okay? Keep in mind that CSI does not manage any fundraisers for the student organization. All of that is on you. You decide how you want to collect the money. For example, GoFundMe or Venmo or any of those cash apps. We do not manage any of those. We only take the money from you to deposit into your account so you can make use of it in either for you as revenue or, again, to donate it to any organization of your desire, okay? So that's how the fundraisings work. Now, just wanted to give you a little also how the fundraising is being, the funding request is submitted. So just bear with me very quickly and we're gonna go to that page. Similar to what I just showed you before, once you are here, in the main page, the finance main page, you are going to create funding request right here. Okay, so once you do so, very similar to the purchase request, it will land you to here and we're just gonna fill up the information. I have one example here. So let's say you're getting a check from an organization that is called Family Kind, okay? So you're just gonna write there, Family Kind. The description is the reason why you are receiving those funds. For example, if it's dues, well, dues from such and such and such. If it's a donation, donation for such and such and such. If it's a fundraiser that you did, well, fundraiser, and you can just put in there the details, okay? How much is it that you want it to be deposited into your account? Categories, you can just write in here that is for revenue, or if it's for dues, you can just choose dues, depending again. And very quick, very important that the account that you select is the revenue account. So once you click in here, you're gonna check in there which one is it that you want. It's either the revenue account or, no, it has to be the revenue in this case, because that's where the money is going for. And in here, you just click revenue, payer's name. This is very self-explanatory. What is the information that you need? If this was a dues, you may have an invoice number, so just write the invoice number. And if you want it, you can just upload it here, or you can upload the check that you are, or money order that you have for me to deposit, okay? And then you just submit it. I will get it, and I will just start the process, okay? So again, it's very easy to navigate. It's nothing complicated. Just be as detailed as possible and provide all the information that we need when in the attachment, that, you know, anything that you have. Very good. So let's go back in here. So another thing that you guys use a lot, depending on the event that you are having, is some services that the American University have. For example, you need some lights, some electricity, or I don't know, any other things. When you have that meeting at the beginning of the timeline that we talk about, that you're gonna meet with the with your advisor, during that meeting, you will know if you need to fix usages, okay? That means services from American University. So if that is the case, please start that process as well right away. Do not wait. That also goes through the 5-week timeline, okay? So how that works? So the first thing is that you're gonna submit the request via to fix service portal, okay? That doesn't come to me. It goes to them directly. One thing that is important for you to keep in mind is when you are submitting a request to fix, they ask you for an account number. Well, you do not have the account number that they need. So they know, they're being told, and they've been working with us pretty good with this. Just tell them that you are a CSI organization and you are only asking for a quote at this moment, okay? Once they have that in the notes, they will email you back with a quote number. Once you have that quote number, you will submit the purchase request, including the email that you got from them in the quote number, okay? Then the finance department will contact to fix. Once that is approved, I should say, will contact to fix, and we will give them the account number information where they're going to get the money from, which is your account, but it's just a loan number that they will need. And once they get that and everything is good, now they're gonna get back to you and confirm the service directly with you, okay? So again, please keep in mind the submission timelines. We have got a lot of complaints in the past from to fix, because this is one of the things that you usually, not you, but in general, is submitted at the end, a day before, 2 days before. To fix cannot help you if you do not give them sufficient time for them to plan. They need to have people available for you to do what you need. So please also keep in mind that they need 2 weeks in advance for all of these minimum. So just use the timeline that we gave you, the 5-week timeline. So in that way, the earlier, the better. Okay. So that's it with the services. Now, some of you have subscriptions. So please keep in mind the following guidelines as well when it comes to subscriptions, okay? Keep a log of your organization subscriptions, including the renewal dates. Verify that the payment information is up to date, okay? The credit card may have expired, so please make sure it's up to date. If it is expired, please contact me so we can update your credit card payment, okay? Once your subscription is renewed, submit the purchase request as soon as you get the email renewal. So you see, usually you get an email. I don't know that your subscription is going to be renewed, but you do, because you get an email from them telling you that your subscription is going to be renewed the next month or such and such. So once you get that, submit the purchase request, okay, and include in there the invoice, okay, so I can process that in your account, okay? If you need to make any adjustments to your subscription, please contact your advisor first. Do not make any upgrades or anything without contacting your advisor. Please do not wait to be contacted by us asking you to submit the request. That's your responsibility, okay? So if you have subscription and you want them to continue on, submit the purchase request, okay? And I think that's it. Let me see any additional information. You can go to our the Center for Student Involvement page and get forms if you need. Everything is in there, okay? And if not, just contact us. If you have any other questions, again, contact me or contact your advisor, or we have a general email. It's studentinvolvement@american.edu. You can send your questions in there. We also have frequent asked questions, so you can just go into our website and look in there. Maybe the answer is there for you've been wondering about. Well, I think that's it for the training. I hope it was clear. I hope it was informative. Now you're gonna have to do the quiz to make sure that you're good to go and start planning all your events and submitting purchase requests. So please make sure to do that. And again, any questions, please feel free to email us. We are here for you. We're here to work with you. We're here to help you to make sure that your events are successful. What we wanted to keep in mind is that communication is very important, and to follow the guidelines that have been already, reviewing this training is important as well. So you can have a successful events. All right. Well, thank you so much again. And any questions, please feel free to reach us.